here's our disaster. Alright, let's try this again. Camera doesn't like to be frozen. It's only 20 degrees or something. So here's our disaster. Hopefully we got some new steel plates coming. We'll get them installed so we can get this box out of here. There's our gas line, that yellow down there. But yeah, we got to get steel plates put in right here and on the other side and over here. And then we can dig down and find our pipe that runs north-south, the 8-inch that we've got to replace. But it's still down there a bit, so anyway. We're gonna fly our 12-foot by 6-foot steel plates in down the sides of our trench box, and then we can pull that trench box out. So this should be a little entertaining. This delivery truck decided to back in thinking he'd just offload them where we would need them, but he didn't want to unload with his crane, so we had to pull him up the road so we could unload him with the loader. We good on the water line? So here I'm trying to thread this steel plate between a gas main and a water main. I actually only have about 6 or 8 inches on either side of the plate to thread this in. So once I set it in and set it down, I've got to keep it from tilting one way or the other. Here, step back a little. My clevis might pop a little. Has that box shifted? Is it pushing against the gas line? I think I felt it shift. Okay, let's unhook me off this. We'll get the other one in here. I think the box just moved, didn't it? Okay. Unhook me that should stand there, and I'm going to pull this box. It was at that moment that I realized I didn't push that steel plate in the ground enough, and it started tilting toward that gas main. And a 1-inch steel plate would act a lot like a knife through a 6-inch gas line. Come around on, well, am I okay? How close am I to it? Is I can keep my teeth on it and I can push down with something else. Am I pushing on it? Oh yeah, there it goes. How close are we over there? Okay, we got a gap. Push this down a little more. Watch the box so it doesn't. Tipping in because they're narrow, they'll cut right through. That box, yeah, it's touching the gas, but it's wide enough. Let me push down on the other side, go around and watch it. So now that we got those steel plates in there, we're gonna secure them back. Gonna use these chains to hold them to a trench box, get them so they just don't tilt in. That way I can, get that stupid trench box out of the way without damaging something. If you notice, on that trench box is our 4-way harness. I couldn't lift that box with that harness because it would then tilt the box into the gas line. So I had to remove it with some bengineering. So now we can work these steel plates down in, anchor them deeper below us so they're nice and safe and won't tilt in. We'll do a little more digging and then we'll get them chained back up to the trench boxes to hold them back, just as an extra precaution. So now we can start digging around that 8-inch pipe. If you look down in here, it's basically in the center where he's standing. Got a little bit of groundwater stuff happening. So after Kamba finished digging around that pipe, you take a few measurements and figure out how to get the next trench box in. So we're hooking up to that box. We're going to set it on the south side of the gas line. So we've basically got steel plates in this closer half of the trench, and then the trench box is in that back half closest to the track hoe. And we're able to start digging inside that other trench box and pushing it down and getting it situated. So here we get the bucket turned around and set down in here so we can clean out from underneath that 24-inch that I'm standing on. You see it just keeps sloughing in on the backside. Here we get the chain holding the steel plate back. So what I want to do is kind of dig evenly on both sides of this, down within a foot or two of the pipe he's standing on. And as I dig it down, I'll push this box down, fill in on the outside, try and make it so that it's safer. That valve, we cannot bump it. Like I can bump the box, the valve box, but down within 2 feet of the pipe, I'm not going to get anywhere close to that. You'll have to dig around that. And then out here, I really don't want to bump any of that pipe because it could cause something else to pop. So if you want to go down the ladder and watch and make sure this box doesn't drift toward that gas line, maybe dig out over there between the gas and this box so that we can see exactly how close we are. We don't have that dirt in the middle. Okay? I'll reach in. Once you're down there and can help guide me, I'll reach in on this side first and we'll start taking a little bit. Well, good morning. Here we are back doing all our final preparations for tomorrow's big shutdown. So we got our plywood in over here, just keep the big chunks from tumbling in on anybody. Canva's down there digging underneath the 24-inch. We got our pumps in. We're going to set our generator plant right there, or light plant, I guess. But we gotta fix this four-way. We got a couple of latches that are bad. There's one right there. Got to replace that because it doesn't hold correctly. There's one other in here that broke, so we're gonna do that right now, and then we can lift the light plant off with the newly repaired four-way. So yeah, that's the deal today. And then we gotta most likely go pick up our pipe that goes in. It's a piece of steel pipe that they're custom fabricating some stuff on the end of. So yeah, anyway, enjoy. So here we got to make some sandbags. We need a few bags to support the new pipe we'll be putting in. So we just found some good gravelly material, bagged it up, and we'll set our pipe on that to hold our grade.
Paint lines in the gravel, a whole field of road about to turn to bad on dirt. I got dirt in my veins, steel in my calloused hands, carving out a dream from this busted up farmland. Every cut I make, every load this old blade takes, I ain't just moving ground, I'm building up a life out here with dirt in my veins.
That looks good to me. Once they drain the pipe, and we get those bolts all taken loose and jerk that thing out, then we'll have to dig another probably a foot or so. But we'll have some water to deal with, and we'll dig a sump hole back here and just pump from back here. We'll only need to dig a trench, 2 or 3 feet wide in the middle for the pipe to sit in. I may swing that up and out, and then we'll just drag those blankets back up in there. This time we may need to get one more to do around the back side of that. I'm not too worried about it, but it'd be really ugly if something froze. Well, good morning. Here we are again. This is the big day. We're gonna get these blankets pulled out, get the new pipe put in here. They gotta weld it all up onto that 24-inch. And yeah, tomorrow we should be able to flow fill and contain that, well, from outside of this box. That way we'll fill it with flow fill, so that we can get the road somewhat more open, at least until we get warmer temperatures, so we can do a little paving.
Here we take the easy way out and fly the concrete blankets out. They like to soak up water, so it's good to lift them out with something. So here Dylan was cutting the pipe, and as he began cutting it, we started getting water, which we expected that. This is a drain, so we were draining 500 to 800 feet of 24-inch pipe. So it took a little while. If I recall correctly, it was, 2-3 hours. You can see if you watch this time lapse, the water will rise and lower. We were able to control the water flow with a valve that was existing there. So we just crack it open a little more, or close it down so we didn't overwhelm our pumps. So Dylan got the pipe fully cut. Here we're hooked on and lifting the riser piece out. It had a big concrete thrust block on it, so we kind of had to shake it around a little bit to get it up and out. Nothing too serious. So here we take a few cleanup scoops out of the bottom, and man, that bucket barely fits down in there. You curl it up too much and you're gonna hit the gas line. Curl it up not enough and the knuckle on the back of the bucket's gonna hit the water main that's against the far back wall. So we're taking it nice and slow. This is critical stuff here. We've got everything basically dug out and ready to put the new stuff back in. If we screw something up now, we'd really be in a world of hurt.
For the day we pack it. Right now there's ruts and rocks we gotta grind. I got dirt in my veins, steel in my calloused hands, carving out a dream from this busted up farmland. Every cut I make, every load this old blade takes, I ain't just moving ground, I'm building up a life out here with dirt in my veins.
Here the fueler comes by and we top up the fuel, give her some grease, make sure she stays good for a long time. It's quite an investment in equipment, so we got to take good care of it.
Like a promise in the clay. Yellow future engines in the quiet of my day. When the grandstands fill in the tailgate for light and lane.
It look like it's right. Wow.
Here we're working with peaches to get the alignment of it right. You kind of just gotta make it eyeball perfect in this scenario.
Right here with dirt in my veins.
So here's the big moment. We're picking the new pipe off the trailer. It's all prepped. We wrapped the valves up. They're all bolted together nice and tight. Using this tag line to twist it down so it'll fit in the box. It's too long for our box, so we gotta tweak it a little, get it creative to get it down in there. So yeah. And then, like I said earlier, we're setting it on some sandbags to just hold it at the grade we want.
about to finish things up today. They're finishing putting the diaper on the pipe so they can finish grouting. They couldn't get their grout to fully stick to it last night, so once they get that on, then we're going to hang our steel plate over here to be our bulkhead. And then we got flow fill coming to fill this entire hole, and then hopefully we'll be moving all this traffic, hard traffic control stuff, leaving the barrels out here for another day to let this flowable fill set up over this hole. We've actually got 2.5 feet of asphalt removed in the lane, but they should be able to just drive on that. So yeah, anyway, we'll show you a little more here in a bit.
Is this a valve?
Yeah, that's just a gate valve. The next one's the plug valve.
Yeah. Just an 8 valve.
So here they're just getting their GPS shots on these, so they got the locations of them for next time. Also, they took some shots on this pipe and whatnot, so they've got all that. Yeah.
So here we've got our steel plate in to use as a bulkhead to keep all the flowable fill out. So that'll just be welded on temporary so that we can cut it easy when we go to pull it apart later. But that'll keep the flow fill out in the paved road and keep it out of this box closest to us where we've still got to do some work. So here we're filling up a few more sandbags. If you look down in the bottom of that trench box, you can see the white sandbags in there. We've got the plate wasn't quite tall enough to seal up the bottom, so we had to throw a few bags in there to make it so the flow fill doesn't ooze into where we don't want it. So here we get to sand the pipe that's inside the box, make it permanent. We'll put a couple of feet of sand in there just to hold everything in place and help back up those sandbags so they don't pop through with the weight of the flowable fill on the other side. So here we have to put some flowable fill in the wheelbarrow there so the concrete tester can test it, see how much air is entrained in the mixture, and see what the slump is, or how wet basically the mixture is. Once they give us the green light on that, then we can start pouring again. Okay, I want you to watch this edge where the gas line is. Don't let me get any closer this way. Tighten my clevis. Okay, now it should kind of try and hang vertical, so I'm gonna have to come this way a little. I don't want to hit that water line either. get all the yellow water barrier drained out, you can see all that water flowing in front of the loader. We pulled the caps out of the water barrier. You can't move them very easy when they're full of water, so we got them drained, and then we'll be moving the concrete K-rail barriers here in a minute.
Transport just got here to haul away our excavator. He's just getting ready to back in here.
So here we got to get the track hoe all cleaned up. Trouble is, I got to track through that sand pile, and that stuff gets kind of all over everything. So it takes a few minutes to get our little ramp built, so we're ready to jump on the trailer, and then now we get all the sand out of the tracks by spinning them, shoveling them out, and then transport is good to load. He's getting used to jumping that beast up on the trailer from the side. We've been doing it quite a bit lately.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Here we dig out behind the K-rail. When we set that concrete K-rail down, it squoze some of the flow fill into the gutter. We just have to kind of recreate a gutter with a flow line between that K-rail and where the existing gutter should be. We're going to have a few storms, and so we need a little place for the drainage to scoot through there. If we leave it high, it'll push water out into the roadway and cause an ice problem, or could cause an accident. So Here we get all the stuff strapped on the trailer, all the supplies we gotta haul out. The water truck, he's here and filling up the water barrier again on both ends of that concrete K-rail, because we're leaving that barrier there because we have that existing trench box in the hole. We have to refill the water barrier. Those act as a crash cushion. If somebody was to hit them, they slow people down. Not as fast as hitting a concrete barrier. It's meant to kind of cushion.
All right, here's the end of the project here. Got all the junk loaded on the trailer. Got our water barrier and K-rail up. Hopefully a bicyclist doesn't come up this bike lane and decide to try and drive through our flow fill. We got some caution tape around it, so hopefully that keeps them out. That'd be a little ugly. But we got our flow fill trimmed up. Got a nice little ditch behind the gutter, or behind the K-rail. Our valves down in the hole. Got to come up late tomorrow and hook a blow off on so we can blow a bit of water through. But yeah, this project is done for the time being. So we got to come back and install a riser pipe and a box so the water can discharge down into the storm drain system. But that'll happen in a couple of months. They were trying to utilize a water line shutdown that was already scheduled. So we jumped in, took care of this while they were doing other work. Basically, we were multitasking. So anyway, just remember, it's good, clean dirt.